Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today's guest needs no introduction in the Hyrox world, but we'll give her one anyway because her achievements are seriously next level. Sam Bilbie is a 3 times Hyrox Age Group World Champion. She took the title in 2023, 2024, and 2025. And she's not just winning, she's redefining what is possible in her category with 4 age group world records to her name. She's become an absolute standout figure in hybrid racing, known for her grit, consistency, and relentless drive to keep raising the bar. So we are absolutely buzzing to be able to chat to you today and find out a bit more about you and how your career in Hyrox has just gone from next level, like from post to post. It's crazy.
That was the best intro I've ever had. Thanks.
It's when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, you literally like there's just so much. I need to like put this into a bit more of a not a like when you read a
List.
CV and it's like list, yeah, point. I was like, I'll just be like reading a list off, but I was like, it's very impressive, Sam. Very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my sport. I
Yeah.
come from a running background, and when Instagram, it came to me on Instagram probably about 3 years ago, and it dropped in, all the photos, and you think, okay, this looks cool. And it's a runner sport, isn't it?
Mm.
And I was always a heavy runner, so it just fits for me. Just
Yeah.
my sport.
Oh no, I love it. And I mean, you've just raced Hamburg, so maybe that's a good place to start us off. How was that first major of the season? So there must have been a great atmosphere. How did you find after the off season, like kicking off your season with your first race?
Yeah, so I've done a good off season, and I was planning on Hamburg being not an A race. So I was planning an A and a B race a year, but it was going to be a race that I wanted to just get the World Championship qualification done, so I can then have another block of off season basically before Euros and Worlds next year. So I was coming in fit, and yeah, it was good. It's my best season opener racing pro 107 ever, I think. Yeah, ever.
Yeah, I mean that is fast, isn't it? 107. And you said you're a runner's background, but I mean pro weights are heavy if anyone's done the pro weights. So you've obviously got a lot of strength as well. Did you used to like train strength as well, or is that something new and
Yeah.
you've introduced that since
Yeah, and that's
doing
not
high
good
rocks?
for runners. When runners say they do strength training, what they mean is they do some bodyweight squats and lunges. I was always into the gym, so I was always wanting to lift heavy. And actually, so I've always weighed, when I was a runner, I probably weighed maybe 60 kg, which actually for an endurance runner is heavy. So I was racing girls sort of between, I don't know, 50 and sort of 55 kilos. Yeah, I just like the look of being stronger, and it doesn't really work trying to be a good endurance athlete carrying extra bulk that's not needed, only for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah, but then come to high rocks and
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Guess the heavier. I mean, I'm probably, what am I now? 65, 67 kilos, probably in the off season, 65. I race that now. So heavier.
Yeah. So how have you found like the switch in training, I guess, from being more running focused? Like have you still done your specific run training and your specific strength training, or I know always there's like compromised running flying about, or how do you, being like I guess a hardcore runner, how do you program the split?
Yeah, I still train as a runner, and I train all my clients as runners as well. So because it is regardless how that is the bulk of it. If you want to be better at Hyrox and you want to compete at a good level, you have to be a better runner. That's it, full stop. So I train, and everyone I train trains as a runner. So in the off season, that looks completely different to the pre-season and during the season. And yeah, lots of it's more from trying to train as a hybrid athlete, isn't it? It's how the hell do you fit it all in? How do you fit all of these units into 1 week? And it is really difficult. And there are double days, and I mean, you guys know what it's like. It's tough, but the strength side of it obviously is massive, especially during the off season. And then I just do enough maintenance now coming into season for this short block to maintain. and it just becomes really, really, really specific. Still lots of running, but really specific.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then you spoke a little bit there about like A races and B races, and that you plan to kind of plan out your season. Is that something that you like always do? Do you have a certain number of races that you try and hit in a season, or do you always try and leave 6 weeks between each race, or what's your idea for how many races people should be looking at? Maybe.
Yeah, well, you can't keep peaking in a Hyrox season. You can only really peak once, maybe twice, especially as a older athlete. That becomes harder because our recovery time is just so much more than than your recovery time, for example. Which is frustrating. So two major races a year, really, which is obviously Worlds and Euros. And then I sort of race myself fit like I used to as a runner. The more, so if I needed to do, if I had a 10K race coming up that was a big race, I would need to race myself fit. There's nothing for me that was better than racing 10Ks hard, 2 or 3 of them before the big race. And I still find that with Hyrox. I think as much as we do the sims in training, nothing really compares to that race day setup and that sort of racing on adrenaline, and you just work so much harder, and your body adapts, I think, from those really, really tough sessions, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. And not only that, I guess just being in the same setup for like race day and learning tactics and getting used to being, I don't know, counting laps, or getting used to taking it steadier at the beginning so you don't go all out for the ski. Just those little things you learn by racing, don't you? And if you don't race enough, you don't have enough race practice.
No. It took me 3 years. Yeah, the first, so 3 years. The first 2 years, I was that going out hard, first one into the ski erg, and hanging from probably the row, really, and struggling and all that. Way too high, but the heart rate is it's gone through threshold now, and you're just hanging on, and you've got all that negative chat that's saying, are you going to finish? You've still got 100 wall balls to do it, all that goes on when you're working at that ridiculous level that's not sustainable. I did that every race probably for 2 years. I hated it. I never wanted to race pro. It was just I've mastered it now.
Yeah, so what changed? What made you switch? Or I don't know, how did you control that? Because I guess a lot of it is the adrenaline. It's like you're in the start tunnel, you want to go, you've like waited for it.
Yeah.
How do you manage it?
You have to, I say to all my clients the same thing. You have to leave your ego in the tunnel, and it's frustrating as it is. You just have to let them go.
Yeah.
Knowing that, are you stronger?
I used to say don't race the race, because that's what I used to do. I would race the race, but actually I'm better when I know what I can do. Just don't race the race.
Are you stronger in the back end of the race, Sam? Is that like do you get stronger? Do you like build as you go through, or just try and keep consistent?
If you watch me race, you'd think, is she really that good? Because I just feel I'm consistent. I can't do, again, it's probably an age thing, I can't do that going out fast thing that all these girls do nowadays, although we've always done it. That's a no-go for me. I'm a steady, there's no, my heart rate stays steady, there's no real
push. I guess, well, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you've raced a lot of, what was your background 10K race, like 10K distance? It's a very similar, I guess you from experience that you can sit up at this like threshold and hold it. So you kind of are probably very in tune with your body and where you can sit and hold it through a Hyrox race based on previous, 10Ks, if you race them at a horrible like distance to race, because you are sitting up there. It's not.
That's exactly what I used to say. That's what my body is used to, and what you automatically think, because we have lots of ex-GB athletes, runners coming into the sport now, They should all be amazing because we know it's a runner's sport, but exactly what you've just said, my heart, my body has always been get up to that and stay there for, you know, 35, 36 minutes, and that's it. There's never any of this. And it is completely, it's always completely different energy systems, isn't it? I suppose. And mine for decades has just been used to sitting there. So yeah, again, it's taken me 3 years, I think, really to not only know how to race, but for my body to make those adaptations to racing compromised.
Yeah. And you touched on that you are an older athlete, and recovery can maybe take a little bit longer than some of the young ones. Do you mind talking a little bit about that and how you manage your like training load, the stress, the weights, the recovery, like for someone that maybe is listening and thinking like, oh, I'm too old to do Hyrox, or I'm too old to train that hard, and they're maybe not pushing themselves into the next stage because they're a bit worried.
Yeah, it's there is a fine line. To be fair, I'm going to touch wood now. Haven't been injured for a long time, but it's the managing the load is hard days are hard and easy days are easy. I can't run back to back like I used to. I used to be able to do the sessions back to back, which is how you would be able to do, so a hard and a hard. I have to have one hard run day, then I would have to do maybe an erg session, and then I can do another run day. And I can only really do 2 quality runs a week, which is frustrating because I've always done 3. I mean, quality, I'm talking, you know, high intensity intervals of, you know, might be kilometer reps, or it might be, you know, 400s, but that's it. I can't really squeeze that 3rd session in. So I then do a 3rd session on the ergs now. It's just trying to take the impact out, really. But yeah, the recovery time between sessions is bigger than what you guys would have it in your 30s. How old are you guys anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 39, so I don't feel like I'm that far off.
I'm 30, so I've kind of got a bit more.
Em's finally joined the 30s. I was like, thank God for that. But then we were talking to Joanna, who's like 22, hey?
I know.
And she's like, doesn't warm up, doesn't cool down. She's like, I was like, you must annoy every other Elite 15 athlete that's there warming up and cooling down. Strolls in, 22, got no problems. Rock up. I was like, you just wait.
It's so true. So my warm up is an hour.
Yeah.
It's an hour. It takes and if I try and go out hard on, if I try to do a Joanna, yeah, my body will be screaming, absolutely, there's no way.
Yeah. And for anyone listening that hasn't heard of you, do you mind saying how old you are?
51.
51.
51, but with a, like, what's your 5K and 10K?
Well, 10K is 36.50, and then 17.56 for 5. I did that at 28, so that is a few years old now.
Oh no, that's like
still give it to you.
I'd still claim that.
I would say, yeah, no, it's still, yeah. And you know, when the day I ran 36.50, you know, as a runner, there's not many days where you run and you think you have a race and everything is, you know, it's smooth and you feel great. And that day I crossed the line and I thought, I know I can go quicker than this. And that was 36.50. And I was, it dropped down. I'd always sat at about 38 minutes for 10K for years and years and years. And then it sort of dropped to 37.40, I think, and then 36.50.
Wow, that's impressive.
But, yeah, and I mean, I guess it is like a message that you can keep improving as you're getting older. And for Hyrox as well, I presume you feel like each year you're still improving, even though you're getting older and maybe the recovery you're having to change things a little bit and take a bit of impact off, but you're still making the gains.
Yeah, do you know what, when everyone says, oh, I'm 40 and I'm never going to PB again, absolutely not. I think in your 40s you've got the mindset to you know, you want to work hard, you really, if you want to be competitive, you're prepared to put the time and effort and dedication into your training. 40s is, you know, that's your time to shine.
The new 30, 40s, the
Yeah.
new 30.
But yeah, exactly.
40s,
30s, you're gonna, you know, you can anyway. You know, physically you can. In your 40s, you physically can, and mentally, if you want it, you can still. I mean, yeah, I'm proved 48 and running like better than I've ever run in my life, and I've always trained seriously hard. So yeah, again, it's with me personally. So I love getting on the start line with all you guys and girls and racing and competing against all ages. But for me, it really is just that. What can I achieve now at 51? For me, can I keep PB, and where's the ceiling? You know, what my body allows me to do. I mean, I ache every day. Before I even get out of bed, I'm like, oh gosh, how am I going to get this session done? But actually, when I get moving, I feel like my body feels 25 again. But as soon as I stop, and instantly when I stop, that's when I get, you know, I feel I'm 50. I physically can do it, but yeah, afterwards it would tell me,
yeah, you're not 22 anymore.
No.
I mean, I feel like I can relate. I can so relate. Do you do anything like, do you do ice baths, like sauna? Do you have like compression boots? Do you like change anything in your nutrition to support this?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
recovery?
my nutrition on my foods is I'm really clean. So I try and do everything I possibly can to help my body. I'm into marginal gains, really. I mean, as you get older, you are, because you want to get back what you've lost. So you do make these changes. So yeah, I mean, compression boots. Yeah, I do like a sauna. What I put in is, you know, that's for me is everything. But then I'm supplementing to the T. I mean, I am queen of sups. you name it, I've probably tried it. Anything I can help with recovery, then
Is there any specific supplement that you found like has helped, or something you would definitely take every day? Or
I think the one that I talk about the most is casein. Have you heard of? Yeah, because as an older athlete, again, not so much yourself, but the younger athletes in their 20s and 30s, their bodies are doing what they should overnight. They're replenishing and repairing. And as we get older, my body, for example, at 51, doesn't do what a younger body does overnight. I always say I'm lying there pretty much dormant. It's not doing what it should do. So casein is great because it's that slow release protein which helps overnight. So I would say that's my number one as an older athlete.
Yeah,
you need help. You need that help, you know, to repair and replenish overnight. Casein is a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. And
obviously creatine for women now is massive, especially they're saying now for women going through the menopause, it's huge.
Yeah. And what about the strength training side of things? We've spoken a little bit about the running and how maybe you don't do as much mileage, or you can substitute with ergs for like to help with impact. Is there anything strength wise that you try and do? Like, I guess Hyrox sessions specifically can be quite intense. Do you aim to do more like bodybuilding strength during the week and one Hyrox session to reduce like that overall intensity, or what do you kind of find works for your body for the strength side?
It depends. So I periodized my training through the year, so it depends what block you're on. So I don't do any Hyrox training really in the off season at all. So I don't, you know, I'm not walking, lunging, I'm not farmer's carry, I don't touch the sled. Mainly, I mean, you need a mental break from Hyrox. If you're following a, you know, day in, day out Hyrox program that's compromised running and specifics all year, that's not an ideal way to train. That's not going to get the best out of your body at all. You have to break the year down into blocks, and I just work back from my A and B races really, and when the off season is going to be. And yeah, that's when I would put my real strength work in. Now I'm in season really, because I've got like a mini season now. There is no time for big heavy lifts, and it's too fatiguing with everything else that's going on. So you cannot fit everything into you can't. You have to have a block for endurance and a block for strength, and then the last 8 weeks I always put as my specificity block or race prep block. And that's when it all completely changes, and that's when there's lots of compromise running. The volume decreases as the race gets closer, but the intensity increases. But you can't be hitting those, I would say, generic Hyrox sessions week in, week out throughout the year.
I think like definitely people are starting to learn that now, aren't they? I think when Hyrox was very new, everyone was just buzzing to do the Hyrox sessions, like loads of compromise running. I mean, I think for a year all anyone said was compromise running, and now everyone's started to go and look at things maybe slightly separately and do a run program to improve their running, and do a strength program. And like you said, nearer the time of your Hyrox race, if you do actually plan your season out and aim for a race rather than just jumping on every race that's around.
Bring it all together,
you bring it together.
And providing you've put those blocks in, for me, 8 weeks of a specific block is enough. I mean, probably 6 weeks is actually, because it depends on athlete to athlete. What I can tolerate might not be what another 51-year-old body can tolerate. They may need a 6-week prep block. So it is finding out what works for you, which is why this sport, it isn't an instant fix, which is why I think we said the runners coming in aren't actually performing perhaps how you would expect them to perform, because they haven't quite worked out, what is needed as a Hyrox athlete compared to a runner. I mean, it's such a new sport. No one really knows, what is the answer right now. We're still finding out, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like it's a good point that, you don't necessarily figure out what works for you straight away. And
no,
consistency is key, and keeping going. Like, I think maybe some people might have like jumped in at the beginning and then thought like, oh, I'm not getting any better, and kind of like almost given up, like, and thinking, oh, it's not the sport for them. But I feel like actually it does take time. Like, it takes years for people to learn how to like train for their body, what works best, make the improvements. It's not like every race you're going to be able to PB.
No, I think you're right. It's definitely there's a timeline. And yeah, if you just took time out and then put those blocks in place, you would get the gains at the end of the day. So I think if you're finding that you're stagnant, then look at how you can create the extra stimulus, or what's the weakness, do you need to put that threshold block in, do you need to drop your reps and increase your weights?
Take a look at your training. And then we haven't really like jumped back to the beginning, but like how did you get into running? How did your running career go? And then how did you find Hyrox and move into that area?
So I was an England age group runner for 10Ks. So that was, and I was training, at least once a day. Running, it was high mileage.
Yeah. Got
a little bit tedious, really, day in, day out. It's really lonesome actually as well, because you're just on your own, aren't you? That it's I'd sort of getting to the end of wanting to do it really, and then Hyrox popped into my Instagram feed, the photos. 3 years ago, it was coming in, wasn't it? It was big, but it was on the it was growing, and my daughter has just put the coffee machine on.
As long as she's making you one, then that's all good. Steaming the milk.
It's important to get through your day's coffee. Maybe that's the top tip.
Unbelievable. You know that I'm on a podcast here, don't you?
Get your order in. Get your order in now.
I'm just having a domestic here. I'm just going to relay this back. She's saying she's only just got up. She was in bed. I could have gone into the office. Anyway, what was the question? She's going to make this coffee and then she's leaving.
That is the reality of life.
It is the reality of life.
What was the question? I don't know, but I can't even remember. I was just thinking
I
about
was on
coffee.
that
I was like, I could definitely have a coffee right now.
It was on to 10K. So yeah, so I was a group runner, and Hyrox popped into my feed, and it was definitely for stronger runners. And I was always I was the heavy runner that liked lifting weights and was really functional. So perfect.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then you did a deadly dozen as well, didn't you? Just a few weeks ago as well. How did you find that, like, so, compared to a Hyrox as well? Just dipping your toe into other stuff.
It's going to be big. Deadly dozen's going to be big. So this is 12 400 meters on a running track and 12 functionals, but the functionals are really rep heavy. So it's 60 reps of, so 60 snatch, 60 push press. You've also got bear crawls, and you've got obviously burpees, but it's a similar format. It's the fitness racing format of run, functional, 12 times. It's great. I loved it. It's going to be, I imagine it's going to be big. It's so accessible, isn't it? It's completely different to Hyrox. I think I know Jake Williamson tried it recently, and a few Hyroxers have tried it, and it doesn't seem to convert as well as what you would think. If you're, great at Hyrox, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be great at Deadly Dozen. It's very leg heavy through the first part, and then they move into very shoulder heavy. So they fatigue you. The legs get trashed, and then it moves into shoulders. It's good.
Yeah. And how did you find the sorry, are you going to say the run? Yeah, the 400-meter run, because it's so much shorter, isn't it? You're like, oh, okay, I'm back.
No recovery.
You kind of in Hyrox, you're like, okay, now I'm on the run, and you might do one lap or a couple of laps, and then you're getting into it, and then you get back to the station. Whereas 400 meters, when you're used to Hyrox, goes actually
there's
so quick.
I would say it's not really a runner's. It is, because it's 12 400s. I mean, that's a big training session, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. I didn't feel like I got the benefit of being a runner.
I did wonder that was why, because you're such a good runner that they've cut the run right down, and it's like, oh, here we go.
Enough for me to. So I am going to. So that next year they've got in the UK, we've got UK champs, and then we've got world champs as well. So I am actually, and it does work with the Hyrox season, so it fits well. They've planned it well. I think world champs is in September, so we finish Hyrox season in June. World champs is done. That gives me enough time to take a 2-week break and then put a block in ready for Deadly Dozen. And I think if I do a specific Deadly Dozen block, I'll be better.
I think if I stop running and just start walking around with a barbell
or
a dumbbell, just shoulder pressing.
Yeah, it's the hardest one for me. They do an overhead carry, so it's an isometric hold. I think it's a long way. It's something like 240 meters, and it's very near the end. And it's you've already done a lot of shoulder work, and it was difficult.
Yeah, I think the shoulder fatigue, when your shoulders are tired, they're just tired. When they've gone, it's so hard to get them back, isn't it? Shoulders are just brutal.
It's brutal. You need to try it.
Yeah, we did the PFT, didn't we? Or whatever they call the fitness test. The
short,
the short one. But it was outside, and it was 40 degrees. And I think we started. We got most of the way through, and I was like, wow, my heart rate was going up, and my whole body temperature was just exploding in the heat. So it'd be nice to do it when it's not so hot.
I found the DFT really hard as well. It's easier with the runs.
Yeah. At least you get a bit of a break. Because I think I was rowing in between, that was fine. But it's really nice to see more and more, I guess, of these events coming up, because it does give people the opportunity to go and race different things. And like you said, it's not the same stimulus, so that they are slightly different, and some people might be better suited to one to the other, or it might help them train for one thing that'll help them, you know, build up to Hyrox maybe if they're not ready. We've trained quite a few people that have gone and done a Deadly Dozen or another type of hybrid event before Hyrox, because sometimes it can look quite overpowering, or like the 1K runs are quite a lot for people to train for if you haven't run that distance.
I think you're right. And I think also Hyrox has sort of got that, it's a bit intimidating, isn't it, actually?
I think it's got more so just because it's grown so quickly. I think.
And can you imagine turning up? I mean, it's bigger, and you know, 3 years ago I got in, 4 years ago maybe, but I just think turning up to a Hyrox now is your first race. Everyone knows, you know, everyone knows what Hyrox is. You know, there's so much talk and chat, and I just think it must be intimidating. Whereas something like Deadly Dozen, you're right, it's on a local track. It's low key, but it's a great race.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, considering your exceptional running background, do you have any tips for anyone to try and improve their running time, like for Hyrox, probably more specifically than Deadly Dozen, because I know it's quite different, but if they've just found they're like at a bit of a plateau on how they could try and get the best out of themselves?
Yeah, well, it's the same for regardless, I would say, if it's Deadly Dozen or Hyrox, you need to train as a runner. So that means putting in, there's I suppose sessions that you need to complete each week, and one is the long steady run, and that's the one where it's generally a weekend run. Start off at, even if you start off at say 30 minutes, you increase that by 10% each week. Every 4 or 5 weeks, do a little bit of a deload, and then we go again. So that long run you need to be building up to. So I take my clients up to at least 90 minutes, maybe 1:45, 1 hour 45 in the off season. So they're building their base. And then again, it depends where they are in the year, but then there's lots of threshold running. You know, if you're racing Hyrox, you want to be sitting just below threshold for the majority of the race. If you go 1 or 2 beats above threshold, the difference is huge. So we want to be improving our threshold, and then I think just knowing exactly how that feels, because I don't know about you guys, but how do you track your pacing on the Hyrox track? I mean, all my clients ask me the same thing. The GPS doesn't work, you know. So you have to go on feel, really. So you need to know what threshold feels like, and sitting just below threshold. So I do a lot of that. And then as it gets closer to race day, I suppose that's when the shorter, sharper sessions come in, and you start working on power and then bringing in the speed when you're getting really close.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you? Oh no, go on, Faye.
No, go on.
I was going to say, in a race, do you think of anything for the runs? For example, try and run out of the station fast, or try and use the first lap as like getting into your rhythm, and then push the second lap. Or I know it's different, obviously, every course, because you have a different like run. But is there any like key points that you try and tell yourself when you're doing the run, or breathe, or that sort of thing?
No, mine is really just down to feel. So I only use my watch to lap I'm not really interested in the time, because I'm going on feel. So I think it is finding what works for you, but you have to know that feeling of just sitting below threshold, or you're using your heart rate monitor with a chest strap, not on the watch, because that's key. As soon as you tip over that threshold, you're on the point of no return.
Gonna have
it's a long race.
And then to stepping away from Hyrox, if anyone's like trying to improve their 5K or their 10K time, like your strategy for when you're racing, I know a lot of people like talk about a 5K and they say like go out hot and try and hold on, or you're doing a 10K, try and like not burn yourself out at the beginning. What would if someone's going for a 5K PB at like the Heart Run this weekend, what would your advice be?
Being a runner it's so easy. It's because and it really is. Anyone can run a marathon. Running is just a process. It's just you have your end goal, you have your timeline, 14, 16, whatever the weeks are. And you just build it, you deload, you build it, you deload. And as long as you follow the process and tick the sessions off, you will get to the end goal. I mean, it has to be realistic, obviously. You can't say, oh, what, you know, I'm currently running a 6-hour marathon, I want to run 3 hours next, you know, but follow the process, it's easy. Hyrox isn't quite the same as that. I know that if I want to run 10K, I've done all the sessions, I want to run it in 36:50. I know that my pacing needs to be 3:45 per kilometer. I can, on my watch, GPS works, it's not a problem. Everything, unless something fundamentally goes wrong in that race, I know that I'm going to get there. In Hyrox, there just seems to be so many variables that can go wrong on the day. I mean, we can talk about sleds if we want to, but there's so many things that you cannot predict. I can't tell you that I'm going to go and run a 66 next week. I can't tell you that I'm going to go and run 4-kilometer laps next week, because every venue is different. You know, there's too many variables, and I think this is also clients want to know, you know, what do I run my run laps in? It's really difficult to say, because as you know, every race is different, you know.
I think you're right though. I think doing the, like, building up and being patient with your running and getting used to running threshold sessions and understanding how your body feels at different paces. So when you're racing, you can feel how it should feel, whether you're in threshold, whether you're pushing a bit too much, whether you're not giving enough. And maybe just the race repetition as well, to you know, some days you might go out a bit too hard and you're like, well, I overdid that. Or, you know, you might start easy one time because you decide you're not going to go be first on the ski, and maybe you've got more left in the back end of the race, and you have to kind of play with it a little bit and see where you are. Whereas I guess with a running race, like you said, you train to a pace, you pick your pace, you hit your pace.
Right.
If you can.
It's easy.
Or you hold on and do what you've got at the end.
Yeah, you want to run a 20-minute 5K, you need to run 4 minutes per K. It's just easy and straightforward. But Hyrox, it isn't that linear, and people do. I have clients specifically that I can think of, and they'll know that I'm thinking of them now. Want to know, you know, tell me, what pace have I got to run at? You know, when, how long am I going to spend on each station? It's, you know, I've been coaching this for 3 years, and I've been racing this for 3 years, and it's not that black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. And then how do you deal mentally with, I mean, like, you've got a lot of experience in both sports, in running and in Hyrox, when you do that race and you don't get the PB, or you don't get the outcome you want, or something doesn't go to plan, how do you deal with that and process that? Okay, so there's two types of client and athlete, really. There's the process orientated and the outcome orientated, and I'm very process orientated anyway. So I love the process of the training. You know, I love how it makes me feel. I like how it makes my body look. So I'm happy to do the process. I'm happy to, lots of sessions are, you know, horrible, really intense sessions, especially in this last prep block. But I'm happy to do that, because I also think that what you put in, you generally get out. It's not always the way. You don't always get paid back on race day, but generally, if you put the graft in and you've been through the process, then what I say, the magic will happen. And if you're outcome orientated, that's when there's more of a problem, because we can't guarantee that you're going to get the result. Especially the time is the problem. All the tracks are different, and if you want to run a 65 and you're not on a fair track, I would say it's you know, it's not because your ability isn't there, it's just because of the circumstance. So I think it's a difference. Depends what sort of athlete you are. I'm always me be me.
It's so true though, isn't it, the process thing? And
it's really frustrating when you think you've run really well and you know you've crossed the finish line and the time's not there. It is really frustrating, but again, it's not like running a 10K, which is what we've just said. There's too many variables for you to guarantee that you can run 65 minutes in Hyrox next weekend. Yet if you've gone through the process, I can pretty much guarantee that you could run that 5K next weekend.
So
And
true.
do you, I guess, not rely, that's maybe the wrong word, but do you draw on those sessions and that training and the process that you've done in race day, and that's what kind of, I guess, feeds positivity and motivation, knowing that you've done the hard work? Or are you just happy to be there racing and still like, what makes
I'm always there for a reason. But it's not necessarily, it is really frustrating not getting the time, but I think you really have got to park that with Hyrox. You know, sometimes you can race, I could race with, if I say I'm doing a doubles, I could race with you one weekend and we could run a 56. We're no less fit the next weekend and we run a 57 because it's a different track. That's unfortunately Hyrox.
Yeah. No, it is definitely true.
Totally.
Like,
and if you're having a tough session, to say some of these tougher sessions you're going into now, or like, you know, threshold sessions when you're not having maybe the best day, but you're trying to grit your teeth and get them done, or in a Hyrox where you get to, I don't know, the burpees and you're like, you hate your life, what do you say to yourself? What's your mental talk in your head to
So
get through
with
that?
training, I think you need to be able to adapt to the day. So again, especially as an old athlete, I always say I never know what body's going to turn up.
Okay, yeah.
I never know whether, you know, I'm going to have the 25-year-old body or whether it's going to be the 51-year-old body. And you don't and any master athlete will say the same thing. You can't completely trust your body when you get older. Another annoying factor, but it's true. And, you know, that's difficult. That is difficult to deal with. But in training, you make adaptations. So if I've set 6x1K and I want to hit that pace, and, you know, on that day it's not happening, I'll drop it down to 800-meter reps. And that's, again, I'm absolutely fine with that. I can mentally get my head around it. But on race day, yeah, I have all the negative chat that goes on when you're having a bad race. It's better now, like I say, since I've been able to find a way to pace it better, as in not going out as hard. The races for me are feeling easier, but my times are better. That going out hard and having to hang on with all the negative thoughts that go through, and knowing you've still got 100 wall balls to get through, is a difficult place to be.
Yeah.
And that's not.
But how did your Hamburg experience go? Did you hit like any points in that race where you were like, oh, come on? No, you just felt really good.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So I've had 3 races like that. I had one in London when I ran my first 67. Warsaw was the same. I ran 66 in Warsaw. And again, this was the same. And they were all the same race plan. You know, don't race the race, go out cautious. I think in Hamburg, I came into Skierg, the furthest I've ever come down the line. I think I went in about 13th.
Okay. And then smoked everyone.
And then came out, I think it came out about, I mean, there was two different days in Hamburg, wasn't there? But I think after day 1, I came out in about 4th or 5th. So yeah, I definitely, holding back earlier on for me is working. I think they're doing a lot of research now, aren't they? It's about saying hitting the ski erg and then where your heart rate should be. Yeah. You know, if you're already up there, game over, I think.
Yeah. I think it just also, like, Hyrox is so tough mentally. Like you say, even just finishing on 100 wall balls, that if you are in that ski, if you've gone really hard at the beginning, gone into that ski, like balls out, and you come out that ski and that next run is brutal, in your head, you've got so far to go. Like, you haven't even got to the burpees. You're not even sitting on that rower. You haven't even started the 100 wall balls. And so maybe even mentally as well as physically, starting off a bit steadier just gives you that mental capacity to know you're ticking the race off without.
I think there used to be the get comfortable being uncomfortable, didn't they? Saying when Hyrox started, and it certainly is that. But if you overstep the line, you're
just gonna have a really
there isn't like strategy, isn't there? Like there definitely is. It's not just a go out and hold on. It's
strategic. It's definitely not. It's definitely not an all out, eyeballs out, go out hard and hold on. And I think if you attempt that, you're gonna suffer big time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
What's your favorite station? Obviously, I know you like the running, but apart from the running, what's your favorite station in the Hyrox way?
Oh God, is there one?
I know. Or is the one that you don't mind, or is the one that you dread? Is the like what?
My best is farmer's carry, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I did 139 on that in Hamburg this week. So that's like a PB station. 139 is but the problem is you don't, the farmer's carry is you come off of a hard run, you only get 1 minute 40 rest, and you're back onto hard runs. That's the only thing about farmer's carry, but it's probably the station I find the easiest. Hardest is sled push.
Yeah.
And worse now because unfortunately they are more difficult this year.
Yeah.
It's a very tactical way, like very tactical to do the sled push, to work out how to come out of it without your legs absolutely rinsed now.
Yeah, my race plan now is to go into sled push feeling very comfortable, get that done,
and then the race begins after the sleds. I mean, a lot of people do say that, don't they? That the race is like once the sleds, that's when the race starts. And I do think there is some, even watching the elites, you see that, you know, the guys and girls coming in at the beginning of the sleds aren't always the ones that are going to be there at the end. It's interesting.
I think sled push is the station. I think sled push and burpees, there's a lot of people that can make a lot of time off. But do you see Lucy Proctor in the Elite 15, for example?
Yeah.
In fact, I spoke to her before she went into that race, and she said burpees are a thing. And she went in, I don't know, quite far down the pack, but came out in fifth.
Yeah.
Flying along. So I think burpees is a place where you can make time up if you're able to run off it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can stay at that capacity.
Yeah. Sled push is the station where you can make or break your race, really.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your next race in the diary? Have you got any more this year?
Yes, I've got Birmingham in 2 weeks time, and I'm doing women's doubles with another 50-year-old, so we're going to go for the age group world record, so that will be fun. And then I'm in Stuttgart with my world champs partner Georgina, and we want to put down a fast time because the Elite 15 doubles is doable, isn't it? It's a it's a great opportunity for other athletes to be able to access that Elite 15
100%.
lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you feel racing doubles versus solo? Do you go into it differently? And
I think doubles, you can, that is one race where I'm quite happy just to go all out and hang on and just get Georgina into the stations. I love doubles.
Yeah, you love it. Yeah, I was going to say, do you prefer it, or just two very different races?
It's completely different races. I mean, doubles, it's fun, isn't it? And you've got your partner there. Don't hold back. There's no holding back at all. Just go hard and communicate along the way, and whoever's having the toughest, everyone has to pick up the slack. I love doubles.
I mean, we were talking about that earlier, weren't we? Because like when you're trying to race just like individual, you've just got to have a good day. But when you're trying to race as a doubles, like for you to perform at your optimal, like you both need to have a good day. And like you've just said, if one of you's having a bad day, the other one has to pick up the slack. And this
is a real thing. Again,
quite hard to both peak on the same day.
Impossible. And this, again, I say this to my clients all the time, trying to get one athlete to the start line in the best condition, fit, healthy, everything's gone right. To get two, especially older athletes, to the start line in the same condition is virtually impossible. Hence I have a younger partner.
Same.
They can guarantee they're fit. They sort of eliminate that 50% chance that. So it's just down to me then.
Yeah, no, yeah,
it's
fair.
true though. It is so true, and it's a hard thing, but I do think it's a great race. So that's an awesome goal and opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the rest of this year ticked off.
And then I have Verona, and then but that's just for fun. So then I'll be back onto a base build block.
Until the following year.
Until the following year, and then we've got obviously Euros in London, which would be massive 9-day event, and then Worlds in Stockholm.
Yeah,
perfect. In an arena as well.
I know. Have you raced one in an arena yet?
Warsaw was amazing.
Warsaw.
Yeah. That was great. I'm going to do that, definitely. That's such a good setup. But yeah, Stockholm looks big.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, it will, won't it? It will be.
looks like fun. Well, Faye, do you have anything else to add before I ask the last question?
No, I thought that was so good. Yeah, it was really good.
Good?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I'm going to round off then asking, what message or advice would you give to your younger self or the next generation of girls coming up?
Yes, well, this is easy because mine is, the saying, youth is wasted on the young. So I look back to when I was in my 20s, and I just think I wish I'd have trained as hard then as I do now. So I didn't have the same discipline, I suppose, and the same mindset. So to my younger self, I would say, don't hold back, put the graft in. Hard work pays off, and it pays off so much faster when you're young, just because the capacity to adapt is just incredible when you're younger. So just take advantage of it, because it's that sort of have no regrets, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want to succeed in sport, it's great being a master athlete, and Hyrox is a sport that welcomes sort of older athletes, and but to be able to do this in your 20s and 30s, if that's where you're at, then
go all in.
Yeah,
that's a good piece of advice. And I do think, you're right, like if you train hard, it does come. You just need to keep to stick at it, don't you? And
consistency
put in the effort
and put the graft in. And I just think there's so many opportunities, especially in fitness, well, in Hyrox specifically, but in fitness racing moving forward now for younger athletes. You could be a sponsored Puma athlete. I mean, look at Lucy Proctor, full-time athlete at 21, whatever she is, nearly 22. She would never have got those opportunities being a cross-country runner, which is sort of her background. So
I mean, it's wild now, isn't it? Because like when we were all, say, like at school or university or whatever, like it didn't even exist. Like no one could be a fitness racer. Like it wasn't a thing. It is wild now thinking like you can do that. And I know like 10 years down the line, you're going to have, we've just asked you what your background is. Well, we're not going to, everyone's just going to be like, oh, I just did Hyrox. I did Hyrox at school and I'm a fitness racer. Like no one's going to be a runner that's come across to fitness racing, or, a CrossFitter that's come across, or they're just going to be fitness racers. It's actually insane that it's a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a new
so many opportunities.
It's so that's the point. There's so many opportunities. I have a daughter. She was an 800-meter runner, and I just just get into Hyrox. There's so many opportunities. She always wanted to be a full-time athlete, but to be a full-time athlete, you have got to be world class. To be a full-time athlete moving into an up-and-coming sport like Hyrox, the opportunities are just there.
It's so young.
You could be a sponsored athlete. You have got to be world class to be a sponsored athlete as a runner, for example.
It's just so, like, running is just, it's been around for so long. There's so many incredible runners. There's like everyone's learnt their trade. People are in athletics clubs and cross country from school. It's just so much bigger, isn't it? The grassroots, I guess, is huge. So then you only get the tiny like 0.5% at the top that make it as the professional runners, whereas fitness racing is so wide open because it's so new and nobody knows about it. If you're half decent and you commit to it now, you probably are going to go and get a deal to move forward. It's actually wild. It's an incredible opportunity for people.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that's my youth is wasted on the young, mate. Take advantage.
No, absolutely, it's a great message. And then where can everyone follow your journey in Hyrox and fitness racing, Deadly Dozen, etc., and also find out if you had any coaching spaces available and everything that you do?
Yeah, so Instagram really, and just at Sam Bilbie.
Perfect. We can put that in the show notes. That's easy. That was a really easy one.
Easy.
No difficult handle.
Sam Bilbie 632 546 or something like that. There you go. Perfect. Oh no, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. It's been awesome to chat and find out a bit more about you, and you are an incredible athlete, so we wish you all the luck for the races coming up, and excited to see how your season goes.
Thank you so much. That was great. Enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sam.
See you.